Y'all see the title? She went to Dubai for love. Now she faces the death penalty. Let's talk about Brooke George. Shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, to my listening reviews. All of y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for auntie to rise. Sweet old. It's time for auntie to rise. It's time for auntie to rise. Welcome back, everybody. As y'all can see on this Wednesday, honey, I feel like talking about true crime. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I hope that you all are enjoying it. We have stepped away from our trash TV reviews to do just a little bit of true crime over here, okay? I will be back tomorrow with Mace. Married at First Sight is coming back, and so I'll be here tomorrow to discuss that and a couple of other little things. But tonight I feel like talking about true crime, and I just have to talk about this story with y'all. I'm not sure if you all have heard of it, but honey, this is the case of Brooke George. And the question that is being asked, is this self-defense or something far more sinister? Okay, so I need y'all to put y'all true crime hats on and let's go ahead on and get into it. I want to shout out this young lady because she was the first one here. Hey there, Miss Vanita Strong. Okay, we have our moderator Ray Della. Hello, Yazelle. Hey, JW1063. Hey, Sugar 48. Okay, Dom. Hey, Gamma Marty 03. Okay, hello there. Hello. Y'all, let's get into it because I feel like I want to talk about this case. When I see these cases, I am so interested. I know y'all probably wondering, Auntie, why you got that band-aid on? I got a hangnail. And it is hurting something terrible. Okay. So anyway, let's get into it. I already shouted you out, Miss Vanita Strong. Hey, boo. Okay, y'all, let me get into this. Let me bring up my notes on this, y'all. Y'all have got to hear about this story. So, this little story got a chokehold on me, right? So, y'all, please be patient with me. The more I researched the story, right, the stranger it became and more intriguing, right? Because at first glance, it looked like it's just another international murder case, right? A young woman, a dead boyfriend, and a courtroom waiting to decide her fate. But when you start pulling back all the layers on this particular story, it becomes something entirely different. It becomes a story about love, control, fear, and one decision. One freaking decision made in a matter of seconds that could ultimately cost her her life. Can you imagine? Oh my God. We're not talking about the life of a man who was lying on the floor, but the life of a woman. Child, she is sitting in a jail cell thousands of miles from home. And we're talking about Miss Brooke George, who is a 23-year-old British TikToker child who boarded a plane looking for love and a little bit of, and may never, ever bring her home again. Okay. Brooke George has been charged with premeditated murder, but she has not been convicted yet. She maintains, y'all, that she acted in self defense. Now, the prosecutors say otherwise. Much of what happened inside that apartment remains disputed, and until the evidence is presented in court, none of us will ever know exactly what had happened behind those closed doors. But one thing I know for sure, somebody walked into that apartment alive, and the only one that walked back out, and that was Miss Brooke. Now, I'm gonna go back on this story, right? Give you a little bit of history, okay? This story began the same way, right? That many long distance romance and relationships do. Now, y'all know that we are 90-day fiance people, and we see them 90 day before the 90 days and all of that, right? Where they are flying out to these different countries to meet the love of their life, honey. They think they done found their boo boo. We got people who are flying over here just thinking that they have love, but honey, this was a real one right here. Now, Brooke had a good following downtown to the TikTok. And allegedly, she wasn't like one of those influencers, right, with millions of followers, but she almost had 100,000 people following her beauty tutorials, her fashion content, and her lifestyle videos. I looked at her and I didn't, she wasn't somebody I would follow, but I had to go over there and peek and see, what she was really doing. So basically, from the outside looking, it appeared that, she is living the kind of life that a whole lot of young women dream about. You okay, child. She met this dude named Bill Treeby. Okay. Their messages turned into conversations. Conversations turned into late night dates and phone calls. But before long, one of them suggested meeting in person. So Brooke packed her bags up, okay, like 90 Day Fiance, and flew down to Dubai, never imagining that this decision would one day make headlines around the world and not the ones that she thought she was going to have. So let me give you the little small details that grabbed my attention and got me all hooked up on this case. Okay. Brooke met William once, and everything immediately went wrong. According to her account, her first trip to Dubai lasted about a week. And she came back and described it as the time of her freaking life. She returned home, child, believing that she had found someone special. She believed she had found true romance and that she had found her future husband. Looking when she looked back, right, she said that there were a few moments that made her uncomfortable with him, including a professional photo shoot that William arranged, but nothing she didn't consider it alarming enough to walk away from the mofo. But as we all know, when you get that check in your spirit, you need to do exactly what you think you need to do. You don't think about it. Your women, we have a sixth sense. Okay, everybody's born with five, but women got six, and that's your common sense. That's that click button that be like, something just ain't right. She had that when he did the photo shoot with her. It's those little teeny things that don't seem important at the time until something go down and you put it all together. And it strings up like a little beaded necklace, honey. One of them cheap ones that if you tap it wrong, all the beads fall off of it. But nevertheless, it was making a complete circle, sweetie. Anyway, he invited her on a second trip. And if what Brooke is saying is accurate, the second plane ticket didn't lead her back to romance. It led her to a freaking nightmare. Now remember, she had already had a little sixth sense about it, and she knew, okay, something just ain't right. She said almost immediately she noticed that William wasn't the same guy she had met when she got out there the first time. The charm that had won her over during that first visit had disappeared, child. Poof, went up into air. Now you know she should have got the by the dodge, but nah, she didn't. Because she said that when she went back the second time, he became controlling. And she claimed he had took possession of her passport. She said she later discovered he had purchased only a one-way ticket for her. So imagine you going to see your boo-boo, you in another country, thousands of miles away from home, from your family, and realizing your ability to leave is being hindered by a mofo that got you a one-way ticket and took your passport. Now, I know some of y'all is thinking like me, right? Because this is how stuff be really getting me. Like true crime cases that I can kind of relate to in on one way, and then on the other way, I'm sitting up there going, "Oh hell no!" Y'all know when you looking through the window, right, and you looking at somebody else's business, you can catch that stuff like that. I'm sitting up there in my mind thinking probably the same thing y'all thinking. Now, how in the whole hell did you not know you had a one-way ticket? I would have immediately been checking the ticket three, four times. I don't know why I'm like that when I travel. I check the reservations 150 times before I like I'm just like I don't know if it's I told y'all in a previous video that I'm a little bit OCD, right? I am. And for me, I'm always just repeating the same thing over and over again, especially when it comes to details, tickets, hotel stays. If I'm driving, making sure that the I got enough gas in the car. Like there's just certain things that I'm going to just continue to do. My itinerary is checked 150 times. Like I'm that person. So for me, this really intrigued me because I'm thinking, how did you get all the way over there, girl, and you did not know you only had a one-way ticket? How is your passport not in your bra? Now, if you hang around me, I keep the brassicas full with stuff. It's a bad habit. It's close to my heart. But that is just, it's just part of me, especially when I'm traveling. My necessities. I have a pocketbook. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all and be honest with y'all. I will have a pocketbook and everything essential be up in my bra. So my passport would have never been in a bag, in a suitcase, on a dresser or anything like that. But she finds out he done took her passport and he gave her a one-way ticket. I'm saying, boo, I don't know who taught you or who didn't teach you, but you already broke two of the cardinal rules. You take care of your own stuff. And moreover, if you're going to be with somebody, okay, let's just get down to the nitty gritty of it all. If you're going to be with somebody and visit somebody, you get your own hotel. You don't sleep at that man's house. You don't lodge at that man's house or woman. If you're a man out here, you follow auntie's advice, you don't stay at that woman's house. You get your own lodging until you know a person. You do not know people. And one or two dates and talking on the phone and all of that kind of stuff is romantic and cute, but it is not the reality of it. Y'all give me an amen if y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, ain't no way in hell. But anyway, let's keep going because so she started realizing that her ability to leave was not completely in her own hands. Ain't no way. She made those allegations and they have not been proven in court. But if they are true, they paint a picture that's far different from the glamorous social media posts that she was putting up. And more often or not, a lot of um social media posts that are put up about going to these different places. One of the reasons this story, another reason why this story is so compelling to me, right, is because it's pulling me back into abusive relationships that rarely begin with violence. Y'all know that. More often, they begin with the small little pieces of control that a person tries to have over your life. It starts with that small, don't wear this, don't talk to him, I don't like your girlfriend, stay here, let me see your phone, let me put your passport up for you. No. So for me, one decision doesn't seem like a much, right? It don't seem like much in the beginning until you realize that every decision was quietly taken away another piece of your independence and your ability to act and function independently. So Brooke alleged that that's what happened to her. So the fact of the matter is whether the prosecutors believe that story remains to be seen, but it is set the stage for everything that happened. So one night changed everything for Brooke. Brooke says that her and her boo thing went out, but before returning to William's apartment, what happened after they walked through the door is something only the people inside really know, the two of them. But according to what Brooke has said, they got into an argument. And she said that William became physically V with her. She says that she feared she wasn't going to survive the encounter. So somewhere during that terrifying moment, child girlfriend went in the kitchen and grabbed her. Ching, 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 ching. And they was zipping that up in that joint fighting. By the time they finished fighting, William was dead to the bed. Now, as y'all know, when stuff escalates, it only takes seconds, and I mean mere seconds, for somebody to be gone and for your life to be changed forever. So one life ended and the other became the center of an international murder investigation. I know y'all think y'all heard something, but y'all ain't ready for this. Because according to reports, the authorities in Dubai didn't simply accuse her of causing William's passing. They done charged that ass with premeditated murder. Premeditated. Y'all know that premeditation suggests that she planned this. It speaks to the intent, the deliberation. But as of today, the public still hasn't seen exactly what evidence convinced the prosecutors that this wasn't a desperate act of survival, but a calculated act of murder. Somewhere inside that damn apartment, there's some answers. Allegedly, somewhere inside the forensic evidence are details that the investigators have chosen not to release, I'm assuming. And until they do, we're left trying to piece together a puzzle. Then, y'all, to make matters worse, details have been made that this story may be even more intriguing than what your auntie think, because according to reports, or allegedly according to reports, it indicates that there may have been as many as 5 other people involved who may be connected to what happened inside or around that apartment that night. Brooke, William, 2 male friends, and a maid. 5 people, 5 possible witnesses, and 5 different versions of what happened that night. Don't y'all know that these testimonies can either strengthen Brooke's claim of self defense or completely tear it up, because their accounts may ultimately determine this TikToker's fate and whether she spends the rest of her life behind bars or something even more. Because now, Brooke's family, they're talking. They described that she was terrified, right? Her mother said that Brooke called her after the incident crying uncontrollably. She said that it is alleged that the mother said that she had visible injuries, including swelling around her eye, and the family believes those injuries support what Brooke has said and what she claimed, that she had been assaulted before he passed. So, whether the investigators documented those injuries, photographed them, or obtained medical evidence supporting those claims will likely become one of the most important aspects of this case when it reaches the trial, right? If y'all didn't think that that was enough, here go another little piece. Public records revealed that William, Mr. Treeby, reportedly had his own legal troubles in the United Kingdom, including pending drug related charges and previous assault related convictions. And let me be clear, that does not prove that he did what Brooke said he did, nor does it prove that she acted in lawful self defense. Okay? Let's get it straight. But if her attorneys argue she genuinely feared for her life, they may try to use it, right? His history to support her claims. But that's only if the court allows that. Because if the court allows it, it will speak and support her state of mind, how she was thinking at the time, and whether the evidence that comes in, right, is something only the court is going to decide. So Brooke, child, is still in Dubai, downtown, locked up in a jail, maintaining, honey, that she acted to save her own life, while the prosecutors are still pursuing premeditated murder charges on her. Is this a case of one truth and a lie? Because somewhere, y'all, one person is not here to tell his story. And Brooke's story got to be compelling enough that she ain't gonna go down in Dubai. So what do y'all think? Based on the story, was she a frightened woman who made a split second decision she believed would save her life? Or Do the investigators have some evidence that's so compelling that it caused them to change their mind from what appears to be self-defense to premeditation? Because at this point, I don't know. I don't know. But right now, this story got me in a chokehold. And I had to come out here. Y'all know I'm supposed to be in the bed, but I had to come out and talk to y'all about this. A lot of people have already, decided who right and who wrong. But at the end of the day, the courtroom hasn't even finished hearing the evidence. Because I got a feeling that this case is going to reveal far more than we've ever seen. One of the things that I learned from my girlfriends is that you don't act a fool, you don't step out of line, you don't do anything in Dubai. You follow the rules. You make sure before you go there that you know what you can and you can't do. And if you have an inkling, any kind of thought that something about to go down, get them out of there. Like, seriously, get out of there. And for me, as I said before, there were already signs. She'd already had that gut instinct. I don't know what they got. I don't know what they have. But this little girl's whole life has changed, and that of her family and friends. Also, William's family and friends' life have changed. So I want to know what y'all think. Do you believe Brooke that she went over there, that he became controlling, took her passport, deliberately tricked her into flying one way with no way back home? Or do you believe the investigators know something the public doesn't know? Y'all go ahead on and let me know downtown in the comments, because something is telling your auntie that this story with Brooke George is just the beginning. Y'all let me know. Tomorrow we'll be back at Married at First Sight and all of the other fool la la. But for today, before I go to bed, get up and go to work tomorrow, I had to drop that downtown in your drawers. Love y'all.